Welcome to Do It Like Danny.
That's what it was.
Never again. I'm going to tell him it's just got butter. That's it.
Angelo, welcome back. This is why we weren't on for 3 months.
I'm not going to blame. I'm not going to say names. Louie.
Hi, I have to bleep that out. Thank you. Yes, it's recording. It's been recording.
Oh, my Lord.
All right.
Or be good.
Hey, everybody. I hope that you enjoyed last week's episode. It was so much fun. Yes, I ate some cupcakes earlier because I made them and they were quite delicious. Again, remember, Do It Like Danny treats. They're amazing. They're wonderful. And you should buy some today in your local stores. Walmart, Aldi, Trader Joe's.
Well, that's how Bethany Frankel started out with Skinny
Skinny
Girl.
Margarita?
She was pushing that stuff in the market.
Here we go. See, you're jumping all over again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Angelo, welcome back. This is why we weren't on for 3 months.
Like 6 months, more like it.
Here we go.
6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. You noticed from last week, our sound was a little messed up. I'm not going to blame. I'm not going to say names. Louie. Cut to director. I'm directing right now. Cut to close-up of Louie. Pull in, pull out. Red light like in Kill Bill. Kill Bill theme song. Thank you. Okay, that's just a director note. Thank you. And now back to the show. Oh, my God. I hope you guys were able to kind of endure some of that. Sorry, Dana. I'm sure I'll hear a lot from you about that. But we are back sounding lovely and amazing. So we also have welcome cousin Louie. Thank you so much. Who's in the doghouse this week.
I'm not.
And welcoming cousin Angelo back again.
Yeah.
2 weeks in a row. Go buy a lottery ticket today, folks. Go do it because this doesn't happen. Haley's comment, Angelo in 2 times, 1 month. I'm just saying, shit's about to happen. And welcome back, my good friend, a friend of the show, Philip.
Hello, everyone.
So in our last episode, we were all over the fucking place.
Yeah.
It was crazy. It was insane. And then welcome back. So, technical difficulties and difficulties of being technical. And we're back now, right? So we're going to get right into the meat of it. No celebrity corner. Sorry. And hopefully you can hear us. Sound good? Are
Yes,
we check?
we're
Lighting
good.
is good. I look at my lazy eye is in check. I'm kind of cockeyed.
Honey,
I'll
that
put the
eye
one in
went
the
to
middle.
sleep an hour ago.
Snooze. All right. So you're all wondering who Philip is, right?
No.
Maybe you're not. Philip and I met. This is where we play like Bridgerton music.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Okay.
Philip and I met how many years ago?
We met on the year of 2004.
Okay, so
October.
I was working for a lovely little company by the name of the Cheesecake Factory.
Okay.
Yes.
And I'm sure you've heard multiple times on this show how many times have I mentioned Cheesecake Factory, right?
Once.
And so I went to this little opening in Rancho Mirage, out in the Palm Springs in the, what do you call it? What's that? Is it the San Jacinto Valley area? What do you call Palm Springs area? What's the valley?
Coachella Valley.
Oh,
Coachella.
thank you. The Coachella Valley. The Coachella Valley, which is well known for its music festival held every single year, in addition to country music festival held every single year too. In addition to the Dennis Shore weekend for all of our Gay Pride June month people. And what else? Oh,
The White Party.
they still do that?
That has been gone for years.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And most recently, they have been a hotbed of racial hypocrisy. If you know, they have. There's been a whole thing with Honey Davenport. Anyways, we won't talk about that. You should research it, though. Palm Springs in the gay communities right now is being coined as very racist.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Oh, I did not know
Yeah.
that.
Well, we're going to have to come back to that. We'll do a racism story next week. But
Ah.
right now, we have to
Next week's episode, racism.
racism and my arrest.
Oh, no.
Or my arrested racism.
Yes, perfect. You see, I'm so glad we all think the same way. So I went out to do an opening back then in, what was it, the 1976? What was the year?
It was 2004.
Oh, my God.
You guys were 10.
So pre-COVID.
That was 21 years ago.
I was opening up restaurants for a little chain by the name of Cheesecake Factory. And I got sent to Rancho Mirage to open. We were opened at the mall there. I had never been to Palm Springs before, and I didn't know what to expect. When you go to openings, you go with like a set list of trainers, right?
I usually go with celebrities, but
Here we
There we
go.
go.
well, first, never mind. Go ahead.
Yes, I know. You run into them at the grocery outlet all over. I get it.
Food for less.
What would we do without Lisa Rinna?
I actually did run into Eric Estrada at Vallarta Market here.
Oh my
You
God!
did?
No way,
Yeah.
really?
Uh-huh.
In Montecito?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What
Did
was
you
he
ask him to be in the
buying?
Chips reboot or what?
So interesting that he asked. He had a basket full of candles, religious candles.
Huh.
Wow.
Yeah,
really?
Like
Yeah.
Santeria? Like
Uh-huh.
she was killing
Just to say
chicken?
that Santeria.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've had a few encounters with Eric, but we'll
They're
talk
just
about
like
that
us.
another time.
Is that what you call them, encounters?
Yeah. Well, what did Jada call it? An indiscretion or a side note?
Yeah, what was that? When she had her, not uncoupling. Uncoupling was
No.
was dirty, goopy. Gwyneth Paltrow.
Gwyneth. Anyway, yeah.
Damn it! I hate when we need a fact. Where's Darnella?
Dana, fact check Daniel.
Yeah, Dana. Dana will remind me. This is what you should have said. Oh, thank you, Dana. Thank you. We love you so much. And so I went out to do an opening. We opened up the Cheesecake Factory Rancho Mirage. It was so much fun. We had a blast. And in the crowd of little servers was my little pelon friend.
Oh.
And listen, when you go to these openings, you're always told, right? Like, don't associate with the staff. Don't, you're technically considered management. We weren't paid like management, but we were technically considered.
So he was staff?
He was staff.
Oh.
Staff.
Not Staphylocus, but staff. He was staff. And so, before you do every single opening, you sign all this paperwork, and they tell you, don't do this, don't do that. These are the do's, these are forbiddens. You should never do this, you should never do that, right? And, of course, I broke all of them.
Yeah, I was going to say you did it all. You threw the handbook out the
Yeah,
window.
I was like, what is confetti? Ticker tape parade, right? And so I was always getting in trouble for something. However, when we went to Rancho Mirage, oh, my God, it was pretty wild.
Were you living in Palm Springs?
I was living in Palm Springs at the time, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, and she was driving a yellow Xterra.
It was silver Xterra. to be exact.
Wow, your mind is
I'm
blown.
getting reminiscence of Darnella right now.
So as I said before, and there's more to this. There's more details to the story, right? But she'll be back again, and we can tell more of these stories. I'm just doing like a truncated kind of like version, so we can get into the meat of this, which is why you are here
Right.
to begin with. So,
Yes.
and how it involves Louie and cousin Angelo. So, without further ado, drum roll. Philip and I spent many years hanging out together, and we had a blast.
We have.
We had a brief moment of separation and uncoupling, but we're back together.
Yes.
So you were young and single at this period in your life.
Yes, that is
Okay.
very true. We are single,
Living in Palm
ready
Springs?
to mingle.
And listen, you want to know why I am the way that I am? Whore. Because of...
I have to bleep that out. Thank you.
Don't. I love
Don't
Smith.
say
more
that.
work for Louie. More
More
work
work.
for Louie.
Don't
Well,
say that.
After we put us through.
I will say this. I think that I shouldn't even say I owe a lot of my sexual prowess to you.
No, not whatsoever.
Well, I do. I do. I owe a lot of my sexual prowess to you because you showed me all of the ins and outs of warm sand.
Oh, the ropes?
Yeah.
Wow.
No, the streets.
Pretty much
Not
all
the
of
ropes.
it. All of the above.
Just the
ropes,
streets.
chains, everything. Right?
Philip, would you like to
and I-
comment on how you are also to a whore?
I am not. Let's just be very clear.
His face is like, excuse me?
Let's just be very clear that I am not a whore.
Anymore.
I mean, if you can hear right now the nature sounds of Montecito, you're just going to hear rushing wind as I'm like, yeah. Yeah. Maybe she's playing for the camera, but we're all friends here.
No, I mean I did teach or explored some of Danny's,
I didn't know anything about warm sands. You taught me how to hop over a wall with barbed wire.
Wow.
You taught me to
we're-
make sure that I never got locked in there on the weekends. You taught me to make sure that we could put something in the door so I never got locked in on the weekdays. You taught me
Yes.
where I could set up office in the bushes outside. Like, you taught me,
Wow.
yeah. So, did I say that out loud?
You're a little
Yeah,
bitter.
you're getting excited, but
Yeah.
yes, I did.
You know
teach
why, Philip? It's probably the
No. I mean, and with all what he is saying, yes, I did teach him a few things. But, I felt a connection with Danny from the very moment that I met him on the expo line at the Cheesecake Factory, and I'd go, "Who is she about? What is she about?" We made a connection. It was just his energy. His laugh, his ability to engage with every single individual, multitasking, but still being aware of what was happening on the line. He was just amazing.
Yeah, so
You
it
can
was a
cut all
lot.
that out.
It was a lot. Wow, she's back for 2 weeks and
I just dropped out. I stopped watching.
I see.
I stopped watching. I don't care.
He's on the damn show and he just tuned it out.
Anyway, back to warm sands.
Oh, look, Elon came this time.
Yeah, there's
around.
Elon. So in that.
Hold on, wait for Elon to pass
high-
by. I can't
wait,
even hear you from
okay.
here.
Oh, now you're worried about sound?
Hey!
Oh wow.
I can hear it on the board. I just didn't hit the record button. God damn it!
I mean, you have the headphones for the. So, over the time that I was there, Philip and I, forged a friendship. And, as he said before, it was through the expediting position. I was considered partial management, right?
Yes.
Wasn't paid like that, but I was considered management. And, obviously, like I said before, when you do these openings, you start to go out with people. And so we would secretly meet and we'd hang out at certain spots and
Yes.
locations.
A
and
bush.
And if you shut up. That's it. You're done. Cut her off. Darnella.
Hi.
Yes, exactly.
I take that as you leave my wife's name out of your
She's going to be like, Daniel, I should have been there. This is Darnella. Daniel, why wasn't I there? I could have shared a microphone with Angelo. No, Darnella, we're more professional now. We all have our own microphones.
Are we? We forgot to hit record.
We all have our...
2 hours
was a
later,
technical.
we're losing light.
So, Philip and I, as we go, I start over again for the 18th time. Over the years, we have been there for each other. We have done certain things that have, made our bond even stronger.
That's true.
We started off in the beginning. We, like every friendship that has roller coasters, ups and downs, we had a moment where we didn't speak. And
Yes.
we will probably tell that story in a different when we talk about relationships. But not to go into any more detail, then we ended up, reuniting again because we were older and you realized you were wrong. And so
Hi.
I will leave it at that.
He brings it up again.
There's therapy for that, Danny. You can write about it in a novel.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Journal, honey, journal.
Oh man.
So we went through that, and then we became friends again after you admitted you were wrong. And so then I've met your family. I've grown closer to your brother. However, when we reunited again, you were with a man.
Yes, I was in a relationship. Oh, I was in a relationship. Yes.
You're in a relationship, and I met him. His name was Jeff.
Yes.
And wonderful man, and that's why we are all here today, right?
For Jeff?
For Jeff, and for also here for you and for Angelo. So I know we've touched this before with Darnella, and it's about bereavement, right?
Yeah.
You know, this episode's gonna be a little bit of like a serious episode, right? We've had lots of loss lately. Me personally, I have not had any loss. So for the first time in Do It Like Danny history, right? It's not about me, right? But it's about you guys. And I say you guys because you are my family. You're all my family. With that being said, I know that you recently have experienced some loss.
Correct. So my stepmother's brother's wife passed away. She was ill for a very long time, so this was not a unexpected situation. I did go to the funeral out of support because I'm very close to my stepfamily as well. So it was, it's always sad to see somebody pass, and you want to be there and just give your love and support and condolences. But it is still always sad to see and to be around people who lose somebody that, is near and dear to you.
Yeah.
And especially, and if I interrupt you, especially losing your father, right? Because your father was very young when you lost him, and you were very young when you lost him.
Yeah.
I can't speak from that place because I still have both of my parents, right? But you losing your father, and your father was how old when he passed?
59.
See, so he was very young.
Yeah.
And on the other side of that too, like I don't want to go into too much detail, right? But he died tragically.
Yeah.
Right. And over the years, you had said to me in the car when we had driven down to Long Beach, and you had said, about the love.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember what you said?
Yeah, so we were touching on the subject as we are on our 3-hour cruise.
Sans Gilligan.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you said something really great about the
So
love.
what I really shared with you is that I understand my father's losses. Obviously, he fell to his death, so it was a sudden, unexpected death. But I don't feel broken by it because I feel like his love is ever present and he's with me, so I'm not devastated.
Well, he must have gave you a lot of love.
Absolutely.
Because there's some people who would feel the opposite if they lost their parents. So,
yes.
yeah, he loved you very much.
So his strength is with me. So I carry it with me in my heart. So he's ever present, which is really nice. But it doesn't take away from other people's losses, and it doesn't discount what other people's pain is. So that's it. And that's been in the last couple months to, again, just be aware of how fragile life is.
Yeah.
Yes, I would have to agree.
Fortify that, we're in that age range now, right? We're older. We're coming upon where, our parents are getting older and people start to move slower and people start to forget things. And,
Forget things is weird.
And even I starting to forget things. Like I had a conversation with my mom and she was like, "Don't you remember this?" I'm like, "No." And she's like, "How could you not remember?" And my mom's older than me, obviously, of course, but it's like,
Yeah.
shit, I'm getting old.
Yeah, but people forget to push the record button. It
Let
happens.
it go, Angelo.
It
Let it go.
happens. Yeah. So, and the only reason I share that is because it's been in the last few months that I went to funerals pretty much like 2 weeks, 3 weeks apart. And I'm like, God, you got to value every day.
Absolutely.
And make the best of it. So much like Louis can understand, just having gone to a service for his step-uncle within the last few days.
Yeah, and that's Louis. That's I hadn't heard from you for a very long time, so that definitely affected you. I mean, I know we were on vacation, but normally I hear from you, and I didn't hear anything from you. So, he obviously meant a lot to you.
He did. He was my stepfather's brother. His name was John Paul Huffman. He was very young. I think he was in his 50s, actually. And about 3 weeks ago, he was diagnosed with stage 3 lung cancer. And he had been a very heavy smoker for a very long time. The way I have been told, he started smoking like at 9 years old.
Oh, my God.
That's young.
And back in those days, I guess, growing up, that was kind of not normal, but I guess kids did that.
Wait a second. I hate to interrupt your story, but I'm in my 50s.
Well, I don't know.
And you're in your 50s.
I'm in my 50s.
And
Yes.
Angelo?
Late 70s.
But yeah, he ended up getting pneumonia, and he went to the hospital, and he passed.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, it was very sudden. We weren't expecting that. I kind of had an understanding that he was probably going to die. When you have stage 3 lung cancer, it doesn't always look like you're going to come out of that. But he was going to take the treatments and go through all that. And, he got sick. And when you have that along with pneumonia, when you can't breathe, again, so when he went, I don't know. I think when you're a parent or when you're a brother or something, when you're really close like that, you think, oh, they're going to come out of it. They're going to be okay. They're going to be okay. And I guess for me, I was like, I don't know if he's going to. And then when he did pass, I know for my mom and my stepfather, it was like pretty devastating because they didn't expect him to go in there and not come out. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
I think he did, from what I understand, because he had left them a note. But he was a really sweet man. He was also gay like you three here.
Oh,
You-
really?
Yeah, he was.
Oh, I
He was a
did
part
not
of the
know that.
community. He lived in Long Beach.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
So you might have run into him at some point in your
Slept
life
with
and
him.
not know.
Said that.
But he
Maybe.
was the first openly gay man I've ever met. He was sweet to me. You hear all these horror stories when you are part of a step family. Sometimes the family treats you like you're less. I never felt that way with him or my grandmother, my step-grandmother. And the one story I have about him that I remember at a very young age, he took me and my stepbrother Christmas shopping, and he gave us $500 each, and he said, you guys go into the mall, buy everybody presents that you need, and that's the money I'll give you, right? And nobody had ever done that, so for like two kids who were 10, we're like, all right, cool, right? And he did that for everybody. So, backstory, he later on in his life became a reverend, a part of a church. It was very LGBTQ friendly.
Yes.
And he was part of another church and a family that he was very close with. He had known this little girl since she was a little kid. And when she graduated high school, he gave her $2,000 to go to college. So he was a very generous guy. The piano player that was playing there yesterday during the service, he was handpicked by my uncle to play at that church. And he had called him in one day. I don't remember what musical store, but he had bought the church a piano. And he had asked that gentleman to come down to the store and pick out whatever piano he wanted. And there was just more and more stories. People were coming out, people I'd never met. And, I always thought my story was very unique because you just expect, oh, that's what family does for family. But he did that for everybody. Apparently, he would give his last dollar to anybody. And I never got to say goodbye to him, and I felt like that was the worst part of it all because he was, like I said, somebody that treated me like if I was his family, and he didn't have to. And he was very nice, and it was like a proud moment to hear that he had touched so many lives and left a lot of good stories. Because I don't feel like we hear enough of that for some of the people that pass. Sometimes you'll get like a family member saying some good things, but not a lot of friends. So, but yeah.
Wow.
Well, and I wanted to touch on this topic because you had that, and what was interesting to me is because we had this little vacation, right? And I didn't hear from you.
Yeah.
Like normally, like you send me a message or hey promos. There's always something, right? And you're posting or you're doing this, you're doing that. But I hadn't heard from you.
Yeah.
And then when you said that this was going on in your life, I was like, oh wow. Like, and for me, I'm like, I didn't want to bug you. I didn't want to like, what's going on, what's happening, or find out. But I know that it affected you greatly.
Yeah.
And so to hear that now I understand. Because
Yeah.
I didn't know. Because in the back of my mind, I'm like, it's just like your step family. Like, what? I didn't think that there was that deep of a connection, right? I
Yeah.
didn't know it was going, but I
Yeah.
didn't know that that's what he meant to you. I didn't know that that's who he was, and I didn't know that that's what he did, right?
And I've kind of always kept the different sides of the family separate.
Yeah.
Maybe I think a lot of it has to do with because my parents kept each other separate. So when they got divorced, it's very tumultuous. And like they rarely are in the same room together. Not like they hate each other now, but there was a time that there was a lot of bullshit and drama that I don't really want to talk about. But, when it was the side of my mom and my stepfather, that was its own thing. When it was my father's side with Danny, it was its own thing. And they never really combined. But, I never talked about him very much. Nobody really asked. But nobody really knew either. But again, that side of the family always treated me like a nephew or a son or a grandson. So I've always been thankful for that. And I would have loved to have told him that. I would love to have said, he was just a sweet human being. And it's kind of interesting that you lived in Long Beach because when you were talking about that in the last episode, I was just thinking to myself, I wonder if you ran into him just in passing or if you know somebody who knew him, and maybe they've mentioned him before because he's touched a lot of people. So, yeah. It's just kind of weird. It's a small world, I guess you could say.
So, Louis, thank you for sharing. I also want to just share also that I've also experienced many lost in the last 3 years, beginning with an uncle in 2023. 8 days later, or 7 days later, I lost my mother on Mother's Day of 2023. And then I've also lost another uncle shortly after that. And then in January 2024, or February, I lost my nephew, who was in his mid-20s, very young. And then I lost my father 9 months after my mother.
Wow.
In between that time, I lost also my niece's husband, or the father of her son. They weren't married.
Yeah.
And then coming to August 18th of 2025, that's the big devastating news that I had. My partner at the time received the news that he had stage 4 cancer. And that day changed our lives.
What kind of cancer did he have?
He had the endocrine cancer, which is in his intestine.
Oh.
And Jeff, my partner's name, he was very healthy. He was a healthy guy. He was very active. He was a health fanatic. He did the maze on the beach. He trained clients at the beach with the maze that he loved. He always shared with everyone that movement is so important. He was the healthiest person that I ever met. He would always, tease me to are you sure you want to eat that salad or that dressing, or is that enough? Do you want to have, all of that?
Well, I'm gonna fortify your story, and I have to quip in for just a moment. We went out to dinner, you remember?
Yes.
And we went to, is it the Thai restaurant?
Nairobi Thai restaurant.
I'll never forget this. And you and I were sitting there, and you ordered the food, right? And because you'd been there, you guys ordered because I've never been before. I'm sure it'd all be delicious. And he sat there and he goes, okay, we ordered a protein, a vegetable, and then you ordered a drink. And I'll never forget this. And he goes, oh, we're drinking? And I was like, oh my God. I felt like I was getting in trouble, right? And then he goes, well, we'll have to go back to the gym again, right? And I was like, oh my God.
So he was regimented.
He was extremely disciplined.
He was very disciplined.
Interesting.
And that's just one thing that being with him, we've been together for 14 years. And
so real quick, as I interrupt you, how did you guys meet, though?
All right. So part of me, we did meet on one of the dating apps.
Oh, okay.
And he was roughly 200.
Hinge.
He was really 250 feet away from me.
Okay.
That's how close we were. And he came over, and the minute I saw him, I just knew that he was the one. And
How did you know that, though?
I just felt it. Instantly. It was just something that I cannot describe, but it was just an intensifying, electrifying.
It's one of those things where you're like, I can stare at this person for as long as I want and not get bored and not hate that image.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we started dating for a year, and then I broke it off. And then a year went by, and then we reconnected again.
Were you playing hard to get or what?
No, it was
A year? That's a long time. Like, hard to get.
No, well, what had happened is that I was having my birthday party at Rock Sugar,
Oh,
where I worked, and there was celebrating my birthday, and I had wanted to kind of introduce him to my friends, and he said yes at the time, but then the day before he goes, I think maybe I shouldn't go because it's going to be kind of odd. You know, you're going to be the center of attention. Well, that didn't sit well with me.
Did you think about him during that year that you guys didn't see each
Of
other?
course.
Okay.
Of course.
No, no.
All the
Okay.
time.
Okay.
You know, I would always be active running, and I would see him out with his dog, Frankie, our Boston Terrier. And then one day, I just got a little message on the dating app, and he wanted to get together, and I said, sure. And that's when everything just started to flourish, our relationship. And then 14 years later, we were together. We've been together. But August 18th did change our lives. When we got the diagnosis, Jeff was in the hospital for 2 weeks. And of course, he was not able to eat anything or drink anything for those 2 weeks. We spoke to the doctors. We were given options, and one of the options was radiation. The goal was to shrink the blockage, the tumor, so that he can be able to have food pass through the intestine.
So he wasn't able to eat any food.
He was not able to eat anything, not even drink water.
Like, not to go back more, but then how did you find that out? Like, did he get sick? Did he have gas? Was it were there symptoms? Like, what led up to that?
So I have taken some time off from work because I was dealing with the loss of my parents, the loss of my nephew, the loss of my uncles. So I wanted to really just take time for myself, not even knowing what was about to happen. I went on vacation with my brother just to kind of be with family, came back, and when I got back, Jeff, it was on a Sunday, Father's Day, and he was having a pain on his abdominal. And I said, well, let's go to the hospital. He goes, no, I think I just ate something and it might be food poisoning. And, you know, Jeff at the time, he was just never the type of guy that would go to the hospital. He would just, you know, go through the pain.
Stick it out, yeah.
Stick it out. And the next day, he woke up and he was still in pain. And by the afternoon, he said, I think you need to take him to the hospital. And I said, absolutely. So we went. And the doctor at the urgent care at Kaiser mentioned, okay, I'm going to leave. I'm not going to leave until I get your results back. Keep in mind, they already had closed. And the doctor, we came to the back door. We knocked on the door. He let us in. And he sat us down, and he gave us the news that Jeff had stage 4 cancer, and it wasn't good. That he needed to check into the hospital immediately.
Now, did they say, like, if they could operate on it?
Stage 4 is
stage
in
4.
it.
It was
You're in
just,
it.
and not understanding what the cancer was, and here I am, Googling it, and
What were you thinking at that time?
Well, for me, I had to stop what I was feeling, because now here's my partner who has received this devastating news, and I had to shift my thinking, shift my thought process, and focus on him, and it was not about me. And he was in the hospital for 2 weeks, and he did radiation for 5 days to see if it even shrank a bit, and it did, but he was finally able to eat some food, very, very light food, and was able to get released and took him to get some more, tests done, an MRI, and we got the results back, and the radiation didn't help. It even spread even more.
Wow.
It went into his liver, and it got into his colon.
Once you guys got the diagnosis, what was your initial thoughts? Like, what were your plans? What was the next step for you two?
Well, one of the things that we decided to do, my husband,
You guys got married?
we got married.
Oh.
He just proposed to me while he was in the hospital.
Oh. You're gonna make me cry.
And I had 9 days to plan a wedding. While he was in the hospital, I was planning our wedding. And we got married on 9/11. 11 was his favorite number.
Mm-hmm.
And
So I remember that day, right?
yes, it was
So-
a meaningful day despite of what was happening in New York and all that stuff. It was just 11 was the number that we decided. And all he had to do was worry about the invitation because he was very artistic. He was very creative. And, he took care of that, and I took care of the rest.
So family on his side, extended family, were his parents around, brothers, sisters, anybody that was lending support to you on his behalf?
His sister and brother-in-law and niece flew out to be with us. They were only there for a few days, and then they went back home. But then that's where the work began. I had to take care of my partner. We weren't married yet, but I took care of him, feeding him, bathing him, medication, and
What an accelerated timeline. You find out that this is something that's disastrous that's happening to your that partner then, husband now, right? And then to be, I don't say forced, I'm looking for a better word, but to be put in the situation of, we proposed to you, and then, like Angela said, there's all these things that are going through your head. Like at any moment, you just feel like this isn't real. Like, because you went from, this is August, and you got married in September, right?
yes.
And, in any of those moments, did you kind of feel like he's going to be okay?
I have to be honest. I had a dream of Jeff. And I've shared this with a few people. But in my dream, I saw Jeff in a puddle of blood. And to me, I just felt that he wasn't going to make it. That's just how I interpret it. And as much as pain as it brought to me in that dream, I knew that he was not going to be around much longer. So I just suppressed a lot of my feelings, and my focus was just really taking care of him. I had to be strong for him because I didn't want to worry him, if he would see me tear-eye or upset or worried. I had to be the strong one. I had to be his rock. And so when I had that dream, I just knew that and prayed that, for whatever time he had, I just want to make the best of it. So then we got married on 9/11. Beautiful wedding. You were at my wedding.
As his friend, and I'm sure you already knew this, what were you doing to help support him, and what was going on in your mind to, I guess, not deal with it, because you weren't really dealing with it, but like, how do you feel as a as a person in the wedding, like what's your support?
You know, it was very devastating to me. You know, like he had said, to me, Jeff was a very strong figure. I mean, and I'm not saying that you were weak. You know, again, I'm at a loss for words because it's like Jeff was just such a strong entity. Whenever, you know, he was out with Frankie or whenever he was on the beach, whenever Jeff was just always had this very strong front.
Like
And
masculine, very masculine.
I wouldn't say masculine. I just say I felt like he always knew what he was doing.
Very alpha.
Oh,
Very
there
alpha.
you go. Yeah.
There you go. Thank you. Very alpha. And you know, not that you're not alpha, but you know, Philip, we know we're emotional, right? Emotional, we attract that energy, right? And Philip and I are very emotional. I can at least identify on that plane with him.
Yeah.
We both will cry. I'm like, bitch, we're it doesn't matter. It's it's a Hallmark commercial. So, you know, it was hard for me because in my old age, when I haven't experienced something, I haven't experienced a partner passing, right? I haven't experienced certain things. And in my old age, I don't want to sit there and say, well, you should do this, or this is how you should feel, because I don't know.
Yeah.
And I really fight hard, right? Because I want to have an opinion, because, you know, I think I
You're
know
opinionated?
everything, right? I'm opinionated. Excuse me. But, you know, I wanted to give him support, but I also wanted to give him space because I didn't want to take away from whatever fleeting moments he was going to have with his husband. And I said to him, whatever you need, you let me know. I will be there. I'll help you. He asked me, take care of the food. Great, no problem. It wasn't even trivial to me. It was like, okay, I got it. No problem.
Did you see any kind of emotion, like when he thought nobody was looking? Or was he pretty good at keeping that?
So he's my friend, and I love him to death, right? And I think it's wonderful that he's actually exuding and emoting now on the show. But at the time, it's almost like, and I equate this to when, and I've told her this before, when Darnella was at her father's funeral, she was running it like a restaurant, and he was running it like a restaurant. I could see that he was there, but he really wasn't there.
Like his eyes kind of.
He was there, but there also was that, like, how's the food? Where's the wine? But I could feel the list in his brain, and it's hard to take that away from someone like, and I'll say us, because when we go to restaurants or when we are at experiences or events, that is what is going through our mind, and I couldn't pluck that from him.
Yeah.
Even in the final moments of that wedding, he was still sitting at the table, and he would get up and he was looking. It was just, you could see that. Not, I don't say that you weren't present, but you could tell that you wanted it to be so perfect for Jeff.
And that must have been extremely hard to do.
Excuse me.
Well, you know, Danny is saying the truth, because for me, it was about, at that moment, the day of the wedding, I wanted it to be perfect. I wanted him to have that memory that I gave him something beautiful, that we were honoring each other. And his mother was here. His family was here. Sister, brother-in-law, all of our friends, our intimate friends that were there. It was just, I was just wanted to make sure that everything was right.
And me as his friend, I wanted to make sure everything was perfect. I didn't want to bug him, like, oh God, where are the forks? Like, you know, I didn't want to bring trivial things to him. And so I never even sat down.
He didn't.
I never sat down. I was like,
I remember going to Danny a couple of times. How's the food? Do we have enough food? Make sure there's always full, please. Just make sure. Like, I know. I mean, work in the restaurant and
Well,
that
you
sort
get
of
into
thing.
autopilot.
Yeah.
You really do.
And I was like, oh God, clear plates. Like we do it. And by the way, like I wasn't the only one. I wasn't the only one that, you know, was there. I cannot take credit for all that. Your sister, I mean, come on. Your family, I'm gonna say beyond stepped up. I don't know history, right? But I know a little bit of history. And I know it again, like relationships, it's been a roller coaster. It's been up and it's been down, right?
Right.
So, you know, to be able to share that moment with Soshi and her husband, and everybody was just there to make sure that your experience was seamless. That was the whole point of it. You know what I mean? Like that emotion, like I cried on the way home. I didn't cry there, but I cried on the way home because for me it was like so sad because to see Jeff and to know him as this like strong, buff, like this is a mace. And if people don't know what a mace is, I mean, have you ever seen a mace? Like it's this big, long, like baton looking thing with the ball. It's very medieval, it's very archaic, and it's heavy and you swing it around and he tossed it around like a baton effortlessly on the beach.
He
You know what I
did.
mean?
He really
But
did.
he was always like just so strong and like you said, alpha. And then to see like he was a shell.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I was like, oh my God. And like, I didn't know how to respond to that. I'm not good with death. I will admit that. I'm not good with it. I put the clown face on.
Yeah.
You know, I make the jokes. We make jokes. Angelo makes jokes. We're so good at that, right? We try to bring laughter to the things that are devastating, right? And it's not that I'm trying to be disrespectful, but it's just because it's like I want to see the lighter side of things because it's rough, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's scary.
It's scary.
It's
Very
scary.
Like I'm I haven't been put in that position where I've lost my parents or a partner. I couldn't imagine that. I think it would be devastating to me personally, right? And here it is, I'm making it about me, right?
It's okay.
And so
It's
to
okay.
see you, and you were like so strong, I was like, wow, this bitch is crazy. Like she's worried about forks and food, and her husband's dying. You know what I mean? And I wasn't trying to be judgmental, but I was just like, oh my God, I would be a mess. I don't know what I would do. I don't know. And thank God I have my sisters and my family, and like I've been so blessed. Oh God, and I hate to say that word because I don't want to be those people. But I've been so lucky to have been surrounded by a group of people that have always been on my side, even here in Montecito with Angelo. Yes. You know, I'm very lucky to have experienced that, to be welcomed into your family.
Yep.
To be welcomed with your, you know, because I know what you've gone through. I was there for your mother's funeral. I was there for your father's funeral.
Yeah.
You know, so I know a lot.
You do.
I know a lot. I was there when your sister passed away, and like I was, man, it's been, with you, it's been one thing after another, right?
Well, you know, that's why you're friends, and, you know, you've always been there for me, and I appreciate that.
And I always want to be there for you. And I've taken away from your story. I'm so sorry. I apologize. But,
okay.
you know, I wanted to convey that emotion of like, wow, this is fucking crazy. You've had less than a minute to kind of grasp that this is my partner, and now he's my husband. And now he's on his journey to complete his cycle of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are you now at this point? You know what I mean? Like,
Well, you know, it's been rough, you know.
and I took away from that.
Daniel,
So we'll
calm down.
Yeah.
Okay, girl.
Yeah, you
It's
really.
not about you.
Jesus, no, it is
I
about
know
him.
you're emotional, but let's just bring it back to
Yeah.
me.
Yes, you're right. You're right. I'm sorry. I don't know. It was the alcohol. Something just got the better
espresso.
of me.
It's the espresso.
It's espresso. It's espresso.
Yeah, and you know, just real quickly, Daniel, as much as we all talk about our parents and how annoying they can be and blah blah, when they're not around,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
would
Oh yeah.
kill for those moments.
Yeah.
Sure, I will.
For your mom to, you know,
Yes.
harass you or whatever. You know what I mean? But again, 3 significant losses.
No
Yes.
more. He had a couple more.
Well, but
yeah, I
but
understand.
mother, father, and your partner.
Yes.
So the day
So-
that you lost him, let's go back. You knew that the time was coming, right? What
Well-
environment did you guys create?
Well, you know, on the last visit that the doctor came, I walked her out, closed the door, and I was in the hallway, and I asked the doctor, okay, between you and I, how much time does my husband have left? And she told me a week to a week and a half.
Wow.
Not even 2 weeks. I said, okay. That was on a Thursday. It was right near Halloween. Halloween was
A Friday.
Halloween was his favorite holiday, by the way, and he passed on November 1st, which is the Day of the Dead.
Wow.
And so he kind of went when he what he wanted, his favorite holiday, and so how.
Poetic.
Poignant.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, it's what he wanted.
Yeah.
And,
He was at home, though, correct?
he was at home. And the building had a party on Halloween. He wanted to go. As much as he was weak and not able to walk, because at this point he was not really walking very much. He was very weak. But he wanted, his sister was there, stepsister, brother-in-law, my family, his friends were there, but not my family, but just some of his friends were there. He wanted me to have everyone dressed in Halloween costumes, and I pulled everything out of the closet, and everyone came into the room. Okay, you're wearing this one, out. Next person, out. Kind of thing, and we all went down there. He couldn't walk, so we had to. We couldn't walk. He couldn't walk, so we had to think about how we're gonna get him downstairs. So we got one of those office chairs, and sat him down and rolled it down the hallway into the elevator, and then rolled him out. And right before the crowd was at, he got up with his cane and walked and made his presence. He wanted to be there. That was his holiday. And November 1st is when he passed. 7:34 when he took his last breath. And I was there every step of the way. Held his hand, because that's what he always wanted me to do. Hold his hand. Sorry.
No, thank you for sharing.
Don't apologize.
Yeah.
That's why you're here. Share. Share. Well, thank you for sharing. I know I've shared.
Yes, you did.
We've all shared. Thank you to everyone that has shared today. Normally I scream and say something stupid and then we're out, right? But no, I just think that we should just, love deeper, love stronger. Time is never on our side. And be appreciative of our family, right? Everyone around us.
I wanted to see if I can share something
Oh, sure.
with Jeff.
Yeah.
Jeff always journaled, and one of the things that stood out to me in Jeff's journal, he talked about joy, gratitude, and love. When he talked about joy, he talked about my ability to move every which way. Gratitude, my health, and foremost, I'm thankful to live in a home I like at such a great location, which is the beach. And then love, so thankful to have someone in my life to love and to be loved. I see this all the time, and, I know that my husband was loved, and I know that I was loved by my husband. And, I just share those words. Those are his own words and what he wrote. And just want to share one last thing. If whatever you're going through in life, I think, he wrote down, change my words, change my thoughts, change my life, believe it, manifest goodness, happiness, success, positivity, happiness, everything spoken with love. And I think when you act with love and everything is with love, I think you just are in a good place. So,
And with that being said, thank you for loving us. Thank you for loving Cousin Angelo and Cousin Louie and now little Philip and me. And we hope that you all have a great week. And remember to always, well, no, I should change it. You should love like Danny. Bye-bye.